All right, I've got Brady Mullen with CrossCountry Mortgage. He is the guru at CrossCountry Mortgage when it comes to reverse mortgages. So this is part three of an interview that I've been doing with Brady. And we are really going over and dispelling a lot of myths about reverse mortgages because it's funny, the things that we might think about reverse mortgages may or may not be true. And what we're used to seeing is Tom Selleck on TV talking about how great they are and how it worked for him or whatever. But really, let's talk about what the real truth is behind a reverse mortgage. Brady, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate you very much.
Thanks, Bruce. Good to be here.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground, but one of the things that I wanted to ask you is that if I do a reverse mortgage and I die, the bank's getting my money, right? The bank's getting my property back, correct? That's how they're going to make their money.
That's one of the oldest and most stubborn myths. It's not true, and it's never been true, actually. It's a line of credit. It's a ballot. There's a balance on the line of credit, and you can either make payments or not make payments. And when you pass away, or when you just sell the house, so you don't have to pass away for this to happen. But when you sell the house, the balance is due. And by the way, that's true
It's
about
like
every
any other mortgage.
So if I sell the house, let's say the balance on my mortgage, reverse or otherwise, is $100,000 and I pass away and my house is worth 500. My heirs inherit the house. 99% of the time, they don't want the house. They sell the house and they take the equity. But there's a $100,000 mortgage on it. That mortgage has to get paid at closing. That's the way it works. And they would inherit the $400,000 of equity.
So I pass away, that the house is willed to my heirs, but they would either they can't continue on with the reverse mortgage. They're going to have to refinance it.
That's correct.
To pay that mortgage off or buy it, I'm assuming, either way. But
Well, they don't have to buy the house because they inherited it, but you're correct. By the way, that's true because it's a mortgage and the borrower has passed away. Banks aren't in the business of lending money to people who have passed away. So if the borrower passes away, loans come due. And so the family, if they want to keep the home, they're welcome to do that. They don't have to sell it, but they do have to pay off the mortgage. But that's true about all mortgages.
So I've got a client right now, and this is an interesting thing because I'm talking to her about a reverse mortgage and this exact situation. And she said, I'd like my kids to get the house when I pass away. And I said, that's great. Will they qualify to buy your $1 million house, even if you only owe 500,000 on it? And she looked and she went, ooh, I don't think they would. So what do we do in that situation? You have to prepare for those type of things though, correct? If that's what you wanted to happen, maybe you have to have enough insurance to pay the house off and then give it to your children or something of that nature. Any suggestions on that?
So yeah, they could either insure the life of the borrower. She could have a life insurance policy, sure. Or she could preserve other assets. But if they inherit the house and there's a $500,000 mortgage on it, whether it's a reverse or a traditional mortgage, they're going to have to do something about that. And if they can't qualify for that $500,000 loan that would replace her loan, then they're going to sell the house, pay off the balance of the loan. Again, that's true whether it's a forward or reverse mortgage.
That's right.
Will inherit $500,000 of equity.
That's right. So either way, you're getting $500,000.
Yeah.
You just might not get that house if you don't qualify for it. But those are the things that I think we need to prepare people for, because if you want your heirs to get it in the event of your death, we want to make sure that we've got that situation resolved as well. Now, you told me the other day that as soon as you turn of age, you're getting a reverse mortgage. Absolutely. Why are you getting a reverse mortgage when you turn of age? Why are you perceiving that as being a benefit for you?
Because it's a line of credit. It's a line of credit on steroids. And most people don't understand that and know that. And I want to bring one thing up first. I haven't been selling reverse mortgages for 20 years. I was a financial advisor and accountant for 20 years when I sold my practice. And I came to that conclusion as a financial advisor and accountant, not as a mortgage company employee. Reverse mortgages are lines of credit on steroids. So it's a line of credit that you qualify for once you're 62, and the line of credit increases for the life of the loan. So if I live in that house till I'm 110 years old, my line of credit will keep growing while I'm in that house. So if it starts at $200,000 or $300,000, it will grow as long as I'm in that house. And the cool thing about a reverse mortgage,
does it require the equity to grow for it to grow?
No. Like the line of credit, let's say it starts at my line of credit, let's say it starts at 200,000. I'm just picking a number. It'll
Yes.
be 215 or so a year later. It'll be 230, 235 a year later. The line of credit, I'm not talking about the balance. I'm talking about the credit limit. So that the amount
Yes.
of wealth that I can access increases all the time. As long as I'm in the home, as long as I'm paying taxes on that property, which I would do anyways, whether I had a mortgage or not, I've got to pay my
Correct. You
taxes.
have to.
Yep. So as long as I'm in that home and paying taxes and insurance on the property, that line of credit increases so that the amount that I can access increases. I think of it this way. Pick a big company like Microsoft, right? One of these behemoth companies. Do you think they have lines of credit set up with financial institutions all over the country,
Of course
all over
they
the
do.
world?
Every
Of course they do.
business does.
Yes, because lines of credit are very useful financial tools, only for the most part, households haven't really figured that out. It's a very incredible way to have access to cash without having to store a bunch of money in the bank and thereby missing out on the opportunity of having that money invested. So having a line of credit available to me for the next 40 years of my life, if I start at age 62, that can be very helpful. And the fact that it grows, no other lines of credit really do that. So this is a line of credit that's increasing regardless of the value of my home. It's almost like when you think it through, it's like, what am I missing? That sounds too good to be true. That's the way it works.
I've been trying to help people understand this for years. Whether you are looking at a reverse mortgage or you have equity in your home right now, get a line of credit now before you actually even need it. It's a tool. And Brady's spot on with that. I always keep a line of credit on my house. You just got it if you need it. I have got a client right now, Brady. He lost his job. He was making 280,000 a year. He lost his job. And now he's having trouble getting bills paid. So he comes to me, he says, "Can I get a line of credit?" And I'm like, "No, you don't have a job now."
Yep.
But if he already had the line of credit, he wouldn't have had that problem. So he needed to do the line of credit first. If you have questions about any type of financing, reversed, forward, renovation loan, construction loans, call me, Bruce Woodburn. I'm the loan arranger. I'm right here in your backyard. I can help you with anything you need when it comes to financing your home. Anything. 407 706 3313. That's 407 706 3313. Or my Tampa Bay friends down in Tampa, 813 213 4009. Again, that's 813 213 4009. Or get your application started right now at webringyouhome.com. That's webringyouhome.com. I got Brady Mullen with me, CrossCountry Mortgage. I think he's amazing because he knows reverse mortgages. And like he said, he hadn't been doing it his whole life. This was relatively newer to him in the last 3 or 4 years. He was in the financial business, and yet he believes that reverse mortgages are absolutely a must when you become of age. So we're talking about the pros and cons of a reverse mortgage and the myth that you don't lose your home to the bank when you die. There are other options, and you can buy that home. Your heirs can buy the home, inherit the home, refinance it. There's all kinds of things you can do. What else do you think is important or myths that people might need to know about?
A really common myth is that you can't sell the house if you have a reverse mortgage. Again, I think that stems back to the original myth that the bank owns your home. Just isn't true. It's never been
Yeah.
true. We were talking about it being a line of credit. A question that I like asking people is, so I do a lot of presentations to financial advisors because that's my world. That's where I spent 20 years of my career. And I do continuing education, easy for me to say, continuing education classes for financial planners. And I ask them, what percentage of your clients are 100% certain that they have enough money to fund their retirement no matter what happens? And that has to round to zero because certainty is a very, very high bar. So
Very hard, very
having
difficult.
credit available to you that is growing. We see lines of credit there that are, by the time clients are in their 80s, you're talking about $1 million line of credit that they could access if they need it for long-term care, for whatever. They could use it for whatever they want. There's no restrictions on how they spend the money.
Sure.
Gives them access to that money should they need it. And you hit the nail right on the head when you
So
said,
why would, if I'm of age and I own my home free and clear, because you got to have a lot of equity to do a reverse mortgage,
yes,
at least 50%, correct?
yes,
Okay. By the way, you want to pick up one of his books? Reverse Mortgages, right here. The Financial Ugly Duckling, or The Real Decisions on Reverse Mortgages. Brady Mullen, CrossCountry Mortgage. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining me today. Just a couple more things. We've answered a lot of myths about it. Why, if I own my home free and clear, do I want to reverse mortgage then? I don't have a payment already. So what's the problem?
All a reverse mortgage is, when you think about it, is it's a tool that you add to your home equity that makes the equity a usable asset. As it is, we all know that our homes have value. People pay a lot of money for real estate, and we know that there's a lot of wealth sitting in the home, but it's inaccessible because if I need $10,000 in a given month, more than expected, I can't sell $10,000 worth of my house. I can either sell it or not sell it. But having a line of credit attached to it allows me to access the wealth piecemeal, as little or as much as I want, up to the limit. Of course, there's a limit on how much you can't borrow a gazillion dollars on a house that's worth 500,000. But the line of credit makes it accessible to me in smaller chunks that allows me to use that wealth without having to sell the house.
I hope that you join me again on the Loan Arranger radio show here. I have learned so much about reverse mortgages. I can help any client out there. All my reverse mortgages, I have my department that specializes them help guide you through the process. I understand reverse mortgages. I love the idea that we provide them, but I like to make sure that my clients have got the expertise. Brady Mullen, unbelievable. Thank you for sharing all that with you. Would you join me again next week or the week after with another segment of this so we can help dispel some more myths on reverse mortgages?
I would love to. There's tax strategies and all sorts of ways to deduct interest that you didn't know were available. There's really cool things. These.
We're going to talk about that next week. Brady Mullen, CrossCountry Mortgage. My name is Bruce Woodburn. I am the Loan Arranger. I appreciate you joining me today, Brady, and we will bring you back. We also will be bringing out folks that help me with renovation loans, construction lending, doctor physician loans. We've got it all. We're going to talk about refinances, when to refinance. My name's Bruce Woodburn. They call me the Loan Arranger. You can call me now at 813-213-4009 or in Orlando at 407-706-3313 or webringyouhome.com. I'll be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loan Arranger radio show. Bruce Woodburn, CrossCountry Mortgage. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.